So good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, here we are about to start the session. The PDF for today's session has already been uploaded on our Telegram group. You can download the PDF from our Telegram group. So you can download the PDF from our Telegram group. The PDF has already been uploaded. So here we are about to start. Sufficient number of people have already joined us. So here we are starting this session. Let's see what exactly is there for us, but before that we have to start with this quotation of Mahatma Gandhi. So as Mahatma Gandhi has said, it's a very famous quote: an eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. The point is this: retribution. Retribution is not going to bring any benefit to us. It is not going to bring any benefit to you. सो अगर आप बदले की भावना से काम करोगे, इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू ब्रिंग एनी पॉजिटिव आउटकम फॉर यू. That's the major point here, and the outcome will be you may end up damaging the other, but it will be just an ego satisfaction for you. It will be just ego satisfaction with you, and this is what we say retribution, badle ki bhavna. It is a microscopic view. Okay, it is a microscopic view of life. What is the best way to destroy your enemy? Okay, best way to destroy your enemy, can you tell me? So the best way to destroy your enemy is to make him your friend. So if your enemy becomes your friend, not only your enemy will be defeated, rather the enmity will also go down. Enmity will also be destroyed. Now this is a really important lesson that we have to understand, because very often we may consider to destroy our enemy, but enmity remains as it is. To remove enmity, it is important. To remove enmity, it is important that your enemy becomes your friend. Without that, your enmity remains as it is, and in the long run, it is not going to bring any benefit to you. This is the important message that Mahatma Gandhi has given to us, that an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. At the end of the day, the world will lose two people. If you start taking revenge for multiple things, the outcome will be people will lose two important players. That's the important point here. So this is the how things are there. See, conflicts are definitely going to be there. Conflicts will be part of our life. Okay, conflicts हमारी life के part है. So this is how we have to reduce the conflicts in a peaceful, amicable way. Now Chinese tracking vessel reaches the Sri Lanka port. Okay, so China is saying that this particular vessel, it is basically a research vessel. Okay, it's not a military vessel as per the Chinese claim. The point is this: India as well as US, both of us have pointed out to the Sri Lankans that this particular vessel could have a possible military use. Okay, it could be used for the military purpose. So possible military use cannot be ruled out. This is what we pointed out, but definitely this vessel has now reached to the Sri Lankan port, and Sri Lankan port this vessel has reached. Okay, and it has been docked there. So this was our prime concern whenever we used to discuss about Chinese companies making ports in Sri Lanka. Okay, So Chinese companies, they were making ports in Sri Lanka, and whenever we discuss this thing in India Sri Lanka relation, we used to talk about this thing, that it will be an impact on your national security. Okay, so this was the major point that we always used to consider, but here things are becoming reality. These concerns are quite serious. Now, this is not the first time this type of thing is happening. Earlier as well, in 2014 as well, there was a nuclear armed submarine, Chinese submarine. It was docked in that area. Okay, तो ये सब चलता रहता है. And other important point is this: Sri Lanka is under debt. Okay, Sri Lanka is under debt. So Sri Lanka can be pressurized by the Chinese government. So this is also, you can say, important angle. So China may put pressure on Sri Lanka. So you never know how things will turn up. That's why really important part that India has to play is this: we have to help Sri Lankans from here. Otherwise, things are going to be worst. They are already in a mess. Okay, Chinese will definitely use it as a, you can say, influencing tool. So we'll move to the next news. Next news is related to 31 ministers inducted into Nitish-led Bihar cabinet. Okay, 31 ministers inducted into Nitish-led Bihar cabinet. So here are few things that should be known to you. Now, we had 91st Amendment Act to the Constitution, which came into effect in 2004. Okay, it added clause 1A to Article 75 of the Constitution. Basically, it says that it limited the size of Council of Minister at the center and the state to no more than 15% of the number of Lok Sabha or legislature assembly seats. Okay, so whatever is the maximum number of seats that are there, so in Bihar it is 243, only 15% of this they can become ministers. Okay, सिर्फ 15% minister बनेंगे. The point is this was primarily maintained to establish balance of power. Okay, balance of power and separation of power as well. Now the point is this: earlier what used to happen, all these governments, okay, they used to appoint many people as ministers. Like 243 mein, if the government is formed and there are say 123 member of legislative assembly, so things used to be like 60 आदमी minister banenge, 60 people used to get ministerial post, 60, 70, 80. This used to be the mockery of the system. Okay, why I am saying mockery of the system, and how are we going to link it with the separation of power? So in a parliamentary system, your executive, okay, is basically accountable to the legislature. Executive is accountable to the legislature. Legislature has to ask question. Now if whole of legislature is becoming executive, minister बनने का मतलब होता है you are part of the executive. अब पूरा का पूरा legislature अगर वो minister बनता है, if the whole lot of executive means whole lot of legislature is becoming minister, then this is seriously detrimental. Okay, ये वाकई detrimental है for the balance of power thing. So it is really very important at our end that we need to focus upon these things here. Okay, that this balance should be maintained. This is really important part that we have to understand. So this is the whole idea that we should know. Okay, now we'll move to the next news item that is there. So here we have another news: Kashmiri Pandit shot dead by militants. Now they want to create fear psychosis. Okay, so this is how this particular war is being played. So this is not the first time Kashmiri Pandits have been targeted. If you look into the 1990s, this is how the things started going worst. Okay, चीजें यहाँ से worst होनी शुरू हुई थी. And other point is this: it is the terrorists, they want to uh, they want to send a message. Okay, that message is this: that your government, your army, they are not capable of defending the people. So this is the confidence that we have to give to the people. Okay, कि भी हमें अपने लोगों को confidence देना है कि ये their armed forces, their government, they are capable enough to, you can say, defend the people of this country, and this is what terrorists they want to target. So this is how this particular perception battle is being played. Okay, तो आज की दुनिया जो है ये perception battle की है. So perception is really very important, and this is how these terrorists are playing with the fire right now. Okay, so our security agencies they have to do something. You have to eliminate those terrorists, otherwise it is sending a wrong message to the people. Okay, so ये information warfare वो जीत रहे हैं, ठीक है ना. हमें हर हालत में ये चीज़ we have to cut down this information warfare. You have to be very, you can say, concerned about it. You have to take it quite seriously how things are turning up. Okay, this is not the right, you can say, things that are happening in this country. So that's the major point. That's the major point here. Other than that, let's move to the another news. Now African cheetah still stuck in transit. Okay, so Africa, this cheetah we are getting from Africa, and maybe Namibia से आ रहा है ये. Okay, so we are getting it from Namibia. Okay, so what's so special about it? So just have a look over this particular news. This is this particular prelims 2017 question here. So this prelims 2017 question says that like recently there was a proposal to translocate some of the lions from natural habitat in Gujarat to which one of the following sites. Okay, so this was the question, and the answer to this was Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary. Now interesting point is this: the cheetah that we are getting from Africa, that cheetah will also be placed in the Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, because the type of climate that is required for cheetah, it is to be there in the Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, so you should be knowing this thing that before 1952 cheetahs were available in this particular subcontinent. Okay, हमारे यहाँ पे चीता भी होते थे, ठीक है ना. तो चीता भी पीता है, वो बिल्कुल सही था. There used to be, you can say, cheetah population in the Indian subcontinent, but we should, you can say, like we know how things used to be in the Indian system. So there used to be शिकार. Okay, hunting होती थी चीता की, ठीक है ना. शिकार होता था चीता का, and like in 1952 we lost all our cheetahs. Okay, editorial section will try to figure it out what exactly is there for us in the editorial. Okay, so देखते हैं editorial में क्या खास है हमारे पास. So here we are heading towards editorial. Okay, so this is how things are. हाँ जी. सो विक्की गौतम यादव आस्किंग सर चीता और तेंदुआ कैसे पहचाने सर. ओके, तो तेंदुआ थोड़ा साइज में छोटा होता है, चीता थोड़ा लंबा चौड़ा होता है. स्ट्राइप्स का डिफरेंस होता है दोनों में. ओके, सो स्ट्राइप्स का दोनों में डिफरेंस होता है, ठीक है ना. और आप गूगल कर लो, थोड़ी अपनी तरफ से भी जोर लगा लिया करो. ये सारी चीज़ तो आप गूगल करके भी देख सकते हो ना, वहाँ पे आपको फोटो भी मिल जाएगी. विक्की गौतम यादव, इज इट क्लियर टू यू? स्ट्राइप्स का डिफरेंस तो मैंने बता दिया आपको, लेकिन आप अपनी समझ का थोड़ा ज़्यादा प्रयोग करें, थोड़ा गूगल यूज़ किया करें. इंटरनेट का सही यूज़ करना हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. ओके, सो कुछ और देखने की बजाय आप ये सारी चीज़ें सर्च कर लिया करें, थोड़ा ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, आपकी प्रिपरेशन अच्छी हो जाएगी. ठीक है, मेरी समझ बढ़ानी ज़रूरी नहीं है, आपकी ज़रूरी है. चलिए, सो स्टेपिंग बैक फ्रॉम एन इकोलॉजिकल अबिस. नाउ this is again, this editorial is touching upon basically a fundamental question. Okay, the fundamental question is which is more important? Which is more important? So development is more important, controlling or you can say managing the pollution, it is more important. Sustainable development is the answer to both of them. ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है यहाँ पे. You have to maintain balance. Okay, you have to maintain balance. This is the important point that we have to understand here. We need to know how to maintain balance. We need to know how to maintain this balance. Okay, this is a major point. This is a major point. Development we cannot undermine, because you have to provide, you can say, employment to large section of the society. For employment, for you can say improving the standard of living of people, the development part is important, but that should not mean that that development is at the cost of our ecology. Your ecology is equally important here. Okay, your ecology is equally important, and answer to this particular problem lies in the sustainable development thing. That focus on sustainable development, that's really important for us. Okay, that's really important for us. This is the point. This is the point that we have to understand. This is the point that we have to understand. Okay, now let's look into this particular editorial, what exactly it is pointing towards. There is a need to balance India's developmental need with the sustenance of its ecological foundation. So as I told you, see, we cannot undermine the developmental aspect. ये आप भूल जाओ कि हम सब कुछ बंद करके एनवायरनमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करें, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. ओके, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल, इट इज नॉट feasible, it is not advisable. So people of this country, they also have the right to develop. You need to understand this thing. Okay, उनका हक है right to develop करने का. So you need to find out the solution, clean solution. That's the major part that we need to focus upon. ये हमारा major focus होना चाहिए. Clean solution आपको ढूंढने ही ढूंढने हैं. This is really important in our system. So this country has witnessed multiple, you can say, movements like Chipko movement, Silent Valley movement, Narmada Bachao Andolan, okay, etc., etc., etc. It means that people are passionate about saving their environment. And if you see the Indian life, Indian way of living, okay, so I am just telling you this thing, Indian way of living अगर हम देखें, so environment is definitely part of our life. Okay, in this country there are a lot of things that are considered sacred. So even there are forests that are there. बहुत से ऐसे फॉरेस्ट हैं जिनको sacred माना जाता है. People tree, banyan tree, it is also considered to be sacred. लोग पूजा करते हैं उसकी. Okay, so this is what you have to understand, that we are really, you can say, aligned with the ecology and environment. That's the major important part here. हमारी जिंदगियां आप अलग नहीं कर सकते हो एनवायरनमेंट से. Okay, so this is the major point. Now there is this Niti Aayog report which says that 600 million people in India, they face high to extreme water stress. This is certainly a large number. 60 crore लोग ऐसे जी रहे हैं. Okay, nearly 70% of water being contaminated. Nearly 70% of water being contaminated. That's the really important part here. India is placed at 120th amongst 122 countries in water quality index. Now this is again a statistics. Okay, ये भी आपका एक statistics है. 120 है हमारी रैंक. Land degradation, desertification, they are taking place over 30% of our land, including ISRO. Means ISRO have said this thing, according to ISRO, that desertification and degradation is going on. 30% land हमारी खराब हो चुकी है. That's the reality. Look what is happening in Punjab because of the over exploitation of water. So you have these two states, Haryana and Punjab. Now over exploitation of water is going on, and in the name of over exploitation they are, you can say, encouraging desertification. Desertification means irreversible damage. वो desert में convert हो जाएगा, irreversible damage है ये. Okay, so this is important part here. This is what we have to understand. Now average level of land productivity, it is 1/4 or 1/5 that it could be. We are using artificial fertilizer, which is again damaging our soil. This is how we are encouraging soil degradation. Okay, there is this World Bank study which says that we are responsible for pushing India into sustainable pathways. We are losing somewhere around 5.7% of our GDP because of environmental damage. That's the economic cost that we have. Other than that, people, they are also losing you can say their lives because of the environment concerns. So these are some serious things that are impacting us. काफी serious चीजें हैं जो हमें वाकई impact कर रही हैं. Okay, so we need to understand these particular parts. वाकई it is important that we have to be very, you can say, cautious about these things. Okay, काफी ध्यान से इन चीजों को समझने की जरूरत है. That's the important part here. Okay, now there has been latest proposal that has been made that okay, government is amending forest and land laws including the environment impact assessment notification. Now this is really a regressive step. Regressive in the step sense that if you do not carry out proper, you can say, assessment of the damage that a particular project can bring, then definitely it's an alarming thing for us. Okay, it's an alarming thing for us because we might not even be able to control the damage. So to control the damage, first basic thing is that we need to know what impact that damage the particular project can have on the environment. And environmental damages are irreversible. So we always forget about these things. हम काफी भूल जाते हैं कि जो environmental जो damages हैं वो irreversible होते हैं. वाकई आपको ये चीज समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Okay, so it is really very important that we do understand these particular points. That these particular damages are irreversible in nature. So you need to be very concerned about them. Okay, we need to be very concerned about them. You have to make sure that these irreversible damages are under control, because otherwise things will become quite late. चीजें बहुत लेट हो जाएंगी. ठीक है ना, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है हमारे लिए जो समझना है हमें. ओके, for instance, the 2022-23 budget has allocation for highways that alone is 40 times greater than the budget of Ministry for Environment. Now, this is a serious concern. Okay, it means that you will end up constructing more highways and you are undermining the requirement of Ministry of Environment. See, without money we cannot have solutions. Okay, because money will bring in the solution. Money कहीं ना कहीं आपको solution provide करेगी. तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर आप money यहाँ पे नहीं factor है, money is not available, then definitely you cannot expect system to improve. System अच्छे से improve नहीं होगा if we are not able to provide adequate money. So it is a really important point that adequate funding need to be provided to the respective ministry. But here things are being undermined. चीजें काफी undermine हो रही हैं. Okay. Today your global economy is being integrated. Today we are talking about multinational firms. Okay. But the point is this: in the name of profit making, we are understanding other part. We are not able to understand other part. How are we going to handle the problems that is going to come? तो ये और प्रॉब्लम्स जो हमारे साथ आएंगी उसके लिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं? डू वी हैव एनी सॉल्यूशन टू दैट? सो टेक दिस एग्जांपल ऑफ टॉक्सिक वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट. Are we working on managing? Are we working on providing any solution to the toxic waste management? Do we have any solution? Are these developed nations, okay, so these developed nations, what they are doing, they are exporting their toxic products to the countries like India, and specifically I am talking about e-waste. अगर हम e-waste की बात करें तो इंडिया के अंदर रिसाइकलिंग होती है e-waste की, and we are getting that e-waste from the developed nations. So they are basically exporting their polluting elements to the developing nations like India, and we are allowing it. We are allowing it. So we need to do something about it. Okay, this is a serious concern that we have to address here. Other than that, you have to understand now major mining projects that we have are in forest areas. Okay, so if you are carrying out mining in the forest area, definitely there will be impact on the lives of tribals that are there. आदिवासीज की लाइफ वहां पे जरूर impact होती है. Their way of living will be lost. They don't want big shopping malls. They don't want that type of development. Okay, so you have to make sure that whatever development project that you are coming out with, it should facilitate inclusive development. That is, it should address the concerns of all sections of the society. This is how things are. Okay, this is how things are, and we know this particular part. The way we are extracting the resources, exploiting the jungles and all, it has really detrimental bad impact for the ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन दैट इज लिविंग इन दैट एरिया. उनकी जिंदगियों पे वाकई ही बहुत खराब असर पड़ता है. ओके, सो इट इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी वर्क अपॉन इट. Other point is this: what exactly can we do? So here we have some solutions of sustainable development. Okay, so the answer to these problem lies in promotion of organic rain-fed farming with traditional seed diversity. Okay, so that's the really important part here. So there are several handlooms weavers in Gujarat who are working on this. Okay, काफी लोग इस पे काम कर रहे हैं. This is the example of organic kala cotton, and they are using it. They do have skills, and you have to provide them with new skills. You have to give them the market access. Okay, यहाँ पे government का role important है. Government have to create awareness about the demand of a particular market, not only on the Indian market but also about the market that is abroad, African nations, South American countries, Europe. Okay, so you have to make sure that your handloom weavers, your, you can say, ट्रेडिशनल आर्टिसंस, दे नीड टू नो व्हाट इज इन डिमांड, उसके अकॉर्डिंग वो अपनी चीजों को बना सकें. तो ये चीज आपको यहाँ पे करनी बहुत जरूरी है. ओके, दैट्स रियली इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट हियर. नाउ यूनाइटेड नेशन एनवायरमेंट प्रोग्राम, पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, ओके, all of them are advocating these things. Organic farming promote करनी है, land and water regeneration की बात करनी है, you have to promote renewable energy, community health, eco-friendly construction, eco-tourism, small scale manufacturing. So all these things are important. Okay, all these things are important, and the last they are saying that the schemes like MG Narega can be linked to these particular projects. तो अगर आप इस टाइप की कोई चीज लेके आते हो, इको टूरिज्म को प्रमोट वगैरह करना है, so for that MG Narega can be used. MG Narega can be linked to these particular ideas. That's the important point they are coming out with. ओके, ये सारी चीजें हमें करने की जरूरत है. वी आर नॉट सेइंग दैट यू कैन से इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, दे आर रिक्वायर्ड, बट इट हैज टू बी कैरिड आउट इन अ सस्टेनेबल वे. ओके, other important point is this: you have to make sure that people are regularly participating in it. People should be, you can say, there should be mobilization of people. That's the really important part here. So we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है. So high points in science, technology and innovation. Okay, so you need to understand they are talking about Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR की बात हो रही है. So this editorial is about what exactly have this organization achieved. CSIR ने क्या achieved किया है. Okay, see, the point is quite simple. You cannot undermine the importance of these institutions. Okay, definitely we have to give credit to the respective leadership, that is Nehru ji. Okay, that after independence he thought of having these type of modern, you can say, institutions. Okay, तो अगर ये institutions वहाँ ना बनते तो आज जो आप डेवलपमेंट देख रहे हो वो आपको नहीं मिलता. एंड डेफिनेटली CSIR is one of such institutions along with many other. Okay, तो ये it has played a really important role in the industrial development in this country. The point is this: are we taking it along? Means, are we doing sufficiently? Now there are some serious concerns about the spending that we are carrying out in research and development. R&D की हमारी spending क्या है? बहुत कम है. It is just 0.8% of your GDP. Okay, the thing is this: with this particular amount you cannot make your country progressive. Okay, so here we have this challenge of making India a progressive nation. You cannot do that. You cannot do that till you are taking along people with you. That's the really important part here. Okay, so it is a serious part that we have to play, that we need to take people along, and really effort has to be made. But with this 8% of GDP, it is not sufficient at all. You have to make sure that your spending on this thing is quite high. Okay, आपको काफी अच्छे से spend करना पड़ेगा. That's the really important thing we need to understand. Okay, without that you cannot expect your country to become a developed nation. So Modi ji has given us a target to make India a developed nation. I am saying that without spending on research and development, how will you make India a developed nation? That's the important point. Okay, that's the important point. This is really very important thing here. So you have to make sure that, like, India should become developed nation, and we need to spend, you can say, adequate money for that. There should be adequate budgetary allocation. Okay, अच्छा खासा budgetary allocation होना चाहिए. Okay, you have to make sure that your your industry, specifically the cottage industry, the village level rural industry, okay, so they need to incorporate द लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी. इनके एंड पे लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी आना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड द पॉइंट इज दिस इंक्लूजन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी इन द इंडस्ट्रियल पार्ट, इट विल रिक्वायर सम एडिशनल मनी, एडिशनल कैपिटल की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी उसके लिए, एंड दैट शुड बी एड्रेस्ड बाय योर गवर्नमेंट. ओके, जो भी एडिशनल अमाउंट चाहिए वो आपकी सरकार को पूरा करना चाहिए. दिस इज व्हाट दिस इज अबाउट. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट वी आर डिमांडिंग. दिस इज हाउ यू कैन कम आउट विद द सॉल्यूशन. वाकई आप इस टाइप का सॉल्यूशन बना सकते हो. देखिए, आत्मनिर्भर भारत, वी ऑल वांट आत्मनिर्भर भारत, बट इफ दिस आत्मनिर्भर भारत इज नॉट inclusive, is not, you can say, covering up the downtrodden section of the society, then seriously it's a sad thing. Okay, it's a sad thing. This is how things are. So Vicky Gautam Yadav is asking, sir, should we accept gradual development to counter this emerging problem? What do you mean by gradual development? Gradual development is not the solution. Sustainable development is the solution. We are not saying that we should be slow at the development part. Okay, we are not saying that. You have to be very, you can say, energetic, very, you can say, you have to put in more effort in the development thing. But the solutions that you have to found, those solutions should be sustainable one. Use the clean technology, use the green technology in an aggressive way. Okay, that's the solution you have to expect. This is what the whole idea is about. So we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है यहाँ पे. So here we have this news. Okay, next news item, that is a probe into the Nehruvian Pledge. Okay, so see, the point is this. This is a sad state of Indian system that we are still dealing with issues like poverty. Okay, तो ये काफी खराब चीज है that even after 75 years of your independence, okay, still we are dealing with the questions like poverty. What's the situation here? What's the, you can say, situation related to inequality? Okay, whether inequality has increased or it has decreased, this is a fundamental question that we have to address here. The quality of growth that this country is having, okay, if that growth is not inclusive, you have to do something. You have to do something. You have to make sure that there have to be some role, some, you can say, stake for the poorest section of the society, because improvement in their life is really very important. Improvement in their life is really very important. So this is what we are asking after 75 of years, whether we have been truly able to achieve these things. क्या वाकई हमने ये चीजें अचीव की हैं? 75 साल हो गए हैं देश को आजाद हुए. Okay, so this is what this editorial is pointing out. Now it is saying that today we had this pledge of ending the inequality, okay, of opportunity. This pledge had been there since the Nehruvian time. Okay, so we had been dealing with the problems like gender inequality, social inequality, and the practice of democracy. Okay, so the country in which intolerance is there, you cannot say that that country is truly democratic. We have to be realistic about it. So यहाँ पे communalism है, casteism है, so those problems are existing. You cannot say that India is truly a democratic nation. Other than that, there are some statistics that are thrown. Now these statistics are really alarming. Okay, so you can use these statistics in your mains exam. आप अपने mains के लिए ये statistics का use करेंगे. So if you talk about maternal mortality ratio, okay, now in your 456 out of 640 districts, okay, India के अंदर 640 district हैं. 456 districts are those where maternal mortality ratio is above 140 per lakh birth. Okay, in this country the disparity is okay. So I guess we are back. I guess we are back here. So we are connected and live right now. So I guess issue has been resolved. Okay, so here this is the whole idea. Now I just mentioned that we are spending nearly 0.8% on your R&D, which is completely inadequate. So this editorial is saying that at least 4% of the GDP needs to be spent only on R&D, and that is related to science. If we seriously want this country to be a developed nation, without having arrangement for yourself, you cannot expect India to be developed. आप वाकई ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते कि इंडिया अच्छे से डेवलप हो जाए. ओके, सो दिस एडिटोरियल इज सेइंग दैट 4% के राउंड हमें जो है अपनी जीडीपी का कहीं ना कहीं साइंस एंड टेक पे डालने की जरूरत है. ओके, this is the important part here. Okay, this is the important part here. Now other than that there is nothing much on this particular page. We'll move to the next part. Okay, so आगे चलते हैं. Today we have this explained portion, understanding the ethanol blending. So we will be taking it up in detail. इसको थोड़ा डिटेल में जानते हैं कि वाकई क्या है ये ethanol blending. Okay, so here we have these things. Now ethanol blending with petrol to burn, definitely it will be used to reduce our dependence on the fossil fuel. Okay, if you are mixing the ethanol with petrol, definitely it will help us in reducing our imports bill as well. आपका import bill जो है वो भी थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा, because you will be using the ethanol which will be made within your country. Okay, and this point is this ethanol basically we will get it from the farm products. Okay, तो कहीं ना कहीं farm products से हम ये लेंगे, because plants and all you extract this ethanol from plants and all after the fermentation thing. Okay, वाकई उनसे लिया जाता है. And the point is this, in this way it is going to be helpful for the farmers as well. Farmers के लिए भी ये काफी helpful होगा. Okay, and it will be helpful in reducing other problems like stubble burning. Okay, because कहीं ना कहीं जो stubble है that will be used for the manufacturing of ethanol. वो इथेनॉल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए यूज किया जाएगा. So that's why if we go ahead with the ethanol blending, it will be really helpful for us. It will address multiple problems that are there. एक प्रॉब्लम यहाँ से ठीक नहीं हो रही है, काफी प्रॉब्लम्स को ये ठीक करेगा. This is what the whole idea is about. Okay, so here we have this target of achieving 20% ethanol in petrol by 2023, and this target will be easily achieved because earlier the target was 10% and we have already achieved it. Okay, काफी हद तक हम वो अचीव कर चुके हैं. ठीक है ना. दिस इज व्हाट द होल आइडिया इज अबाउट. नाउ while using ethanol, it will help us in other areas as well, as less carbon dioxide will be released, and less carbon dioxide if it will be released, definitely it will help us in reducing the pollution and greenhouse gases as well. तो ग्रीन हाउस गैसेज को कम करने के लिए भी इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग इज रियली वेरी हेल्पफुल. इट इज रिलेटिवली क्लीनर. ओके, काफी क्लीन है ये. Other point is this, I already mentioned that ethanol blending will help us in reducing our import bill. आपका import bill थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा, because every year we are importing worth $55 billion of पेट्रोलियम. हम तकरीबन 55 बिलियन डॉलर का पेट्रोल जो है पेट्रोलियम इंपोर्ट करते हैं. ओके, सो विद द सक्सेसफुल इंप्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग you will end up saving nearly $4 billion. आप तकरीबन $4 billion on an average every year save कर पाओगे. This is what it can bring to us. Okay, it's a really important thing. Now, other than molasses, ethanol can be extracted from materials such as rice straw, wheat straw, corn cobs, corn stovers, bagaces, bamboo, woody biomass. Okay, this is the additional, you can say, benefit that we'll get. So rice, जो बचा हुआ rice का stubble होता है, that can be utilized for the manufacturing of ethanol. This is how it will be helpful in addressing two major problems. Okay, तो दो मेजर प्रॉब्लम को एकदम ये ठीक कर देता है. दिस इज हाउ इट इज एडवांटेजियस, एंड फार्मर्स के लिए भी अच्छा है, एज देयर इनकम विल इंक्रीज विद द इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग आइडिया. ओके, नाउ इंडिया इज नॉट द ओनली कंट्री विच इज लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू दैट. यूएस, चाइना, कैनेडा, ब्राजील, दे ऑल आर लुकिंग अप टू दिस. ओके, ब्राजील इज द कंट्री वेयर दे हैव टच्ड द टारगेट ऑफ 27% ethanol blending. Okay, they already are moving towards 27% ethanol blending. It's a really commendable thing. Other part is this, if you talk about the automobile industry, now automobile industry will be really very happy. Okay, really very happy, and this automobile industry will prefer, instead of going to electric vehicle thing, they will prefer to move towards ethanol blending. कि ethanol blending की तरफ ज़्यादा focus हो जाएगा. Okay, इनका as it is easy, very small modification will be required. बहुत ही थोड़ी सी modification इनको चाहिए इंजन के अंदर, तो थोड़ा आसान है ये करना. ओके, थोड़ा आसान हो जाता है ये करना. दैट्स व्हाई दे माइट बी मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग थिंग. इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल यू रिक्वायर एडिशनल, यू कैन से, इन्वेस्टमेंट देयर, बट इसमें इतनी ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, सो विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट नाउ. कांग्रेस क्वेश्चन सेंटर ओवर रेवेन्यू लॉस ऑफ 1.84 करोड़. नाउ here the question is about one thing. See, there are a lot of rebates that are given to the corporates in this country. काफी relaxation जो है वो यहाँ पे दिया जाता है. Okay, and the outcome of that relaxation is this, that we end up losing 1.84 lakh crore in revenue. So we have to be serious about it, because if you are giving these relaxations, isn't it not part of your subsidy? क्या ये सब्सिडी का पार्ट नहीं है? इज इट नॉट इक्वेटेड विद फ्री बीज? क्या वाकई इसको हम फ्री बीज के साथ इक्वेट नहीं कर सकते? These are the concerns that we have to address here. Okay, so whenever you talk about subsidy being given to the poorest section of the society, people will raise their point. वो अपनी बात को बोलना शुरू कर देंगे that this is not the right thing, free bees culture is bad, and Modi ji is saying that revdi culture type of statement. Okay, he is making revdi culture type of statement. So from that angle, it is really very sad. Okay, then why are we silent about these things? इन चीजों को लेके हम चुप क्यों हैं? So it is really very important that we address this serious concern, and this point has been made by the Congress. Okay, तो कांग्रेस आप ये मुद्दा उठा रहे हैं कि भाई बताओ, आप गरीबों के ऊपर सब्सिडी को लेके रेवड़ी कल्चर जैसी बात बोलते हो. व्हाट अबाउट द सब्सिडीज, द टैक्स रिलैक्सेशन दैट यू आर गिविंग टू द कॉर्पोरेट्स इन दिस कंट्री? उस चीज के बारे में क्या कहना है आपका? दिस इज व्हाट दे आर रेजिंग. इट्स अ वैलिड क्वेश्चन. ओके, इट्स अ वैलिड क्वेश्चन. सो अदर देन दैट देयर इज नथिंग मच. ओके, सो Supreme Court to examine validity of child gang rape law. Okay, so they will examine this thing, and some serious, you can say, punishments have been put in by the state governments. काफी खतरनाक punishment यहाँ पे डाली है यहाँ पे. Okay, so they will inquire into this. This is a debate. Other than that, there is nothing much. कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay, so here we have nothing much, and 7 killed as the bus carrying security personnel fall into the gorge in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so this is a sad sad tragedy that has happened. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. अदर देन दैट देर इज़ नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है. नाउ प्रैक्टिस ऑफ तलाक हसन नॉट सो इम्प्रॉपर. So this is what Supreme Court is examining now. Now Supreme Court is examining a different type of question here. Okay, so again the question of talaq is in news, and this time it is talaq hasan. तो talaq बिद्दत होता है एक, और दूसरा है talaq hasan. So talaq बिद्दत means that saying talaq for 3 times, but here in talaq hasan there is an arrangement for divorce. Okay, by which a Muslim man can divorce his wife by pronouncing talaq once every month over 3 months period. The point is this, why only men decide when to give divorce? Okay, what about women? So this is how things are. This is to be debated here. Okay, so instead of saying talaq 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 in 3 times, here the talaq word will be used once. हर महीने एक बार तलाक बोलना है. सो द पॉइंट इज दिस, विद दिस अरेंजमेंट द कपल कैन एक्सप्लोर द रीअप्रोचमेंट. ओके, कि जैसे कैसे करके अगर शादी बच जाए, तो वो चीज को फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए दिस आइडिया हैज बीन एक्सप्लोर्ड. ओके, this idea has been explored for that. Now this bench led by Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul said a Muslim woman has the option to divorce by process of khula by returning the dower. Okay, so मेहर की रकम होती है, अगर वो मेहर की रकम वापस दे दे, तो women can also has this option of divorce by going ahead with the khula. Okay, this idea is there. This idea is there. So that's why court is saying that at present preliminarily they are saying that there is no that concern. कुछ खास प्रॉब्लम कोर्ट को नजर नहीं आ रही है इसके अंदर, बट वी हैव टू वेट फॉर द फाइनल जजमेंट. आगे जाके देखेंगे क्या होगा यहाँ पे. ओके, सो अदर देन दैट देर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. ओके, so this is what the whole idea is about. Child mortality has dipped to 35 per 1000 birth. Okay, this is what minister is saying. And India has taken rapid strides in reducing the child mortality. So the point is this, definitely institutional delivery of births, it had played a really important role, और काफ़ी अच्छी schemes government ने चलाई हैं. So you have Matritva Vandana Yojana, where the additional, you can say, money is given to the woman, and this is really good thing. Okay, this is a really good thing, and we are on a sustainable path. काफ़ी सही दिशा में हम जा रहे हैं. Okay, so we'll move to the next part now. China sets sanctions on Taiwan figures. Okay, so these sanctions have been brought in by China. So we do expect this particular problem that has emerged recently to pacify. because this world, the global economy cannot afford another war. Okay, global economy एक और war afford नहीं कर सकती. Already we are struggling to move out of this Ukraine Russia crisis and somehow we appear to be successful as well. पूरी दुनिया धीरे धीरे झटके से बाहर आ रही है. But if there is another, you can say, event like this, then specifically it will be detrimental for us. Okay, हमारे लिए बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं होगा. This is what the whole idea is about. Other than that, there is nothing much. Okay, uh, Taliban add more compulsory religion classes to universities. Okay, this is what their idea is about. So definitely, like, things are alarmed. Beings rights of women are under threat there. Okay, this is what is there. Other point is this: US needs conflicts to retain global hegemony. This is what Putin is saying. Okay, कि US को conflict पसंद है, ठीक है ना. तो दिस इज हाउ द स्टेटमेंट्स आर बीइंग मेड. अदर देन दैट देयर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. ओके, सो ईयू इज वेटिंग फॉर ईरान्स रिस्पॉन्स टू फाइनल द न्यूक्लियर टेक्स्ट एंड दिस इज हाउ रियली वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग सम पॉजिटिव्स. ओके, काफ़ी पॉजिटिव आएगी यहाँ से खबर. And I'm telling you, in 2018 mains there was a question on this nuclear deal that was being carried out between Iran and rest of the countries. So again, if this deal will be concluded, अगर ये डील हो जाती है, अगेन दिस इज द इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन फॉर अस. ओके, हाउ इट विल बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर इंडिया. ईरान अगर यहाँ पे वापस आता है तो इंडिया के लिए क्या अच्छा होगा. सो दिस इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. सो आई वुड लाइक टू एक्सप्लेन दिस टू यू. ओके, so this is what the Indian map is about. ये हमारा इंडिया का मैप है. And as we see, so this is Gujarat's coast. Okay, this is Pakistan, and next to it is Iran. Okay, and we have invested in Chabahar port. हमने Chabahar port में भी invest किया है यहाँ पे. So the idea is to link Mumbai to the Chabahar port. Okay, now the point is this: as these sanctions are to be removed from Iran, अगर ईरान के ऊपर से ये सैंक्शन रिमूव होते हैं, वी कैन यूज द चाबहार पोर्ट टू इट्स फुल कैपेसिटी. ओके, आप चाबहार पोर्ट की फुल कैपेसिटी के साथ उसका इस्तेमाल कर पाओगे. टुडे वी माइट बी यूजिंग इट ओनली इन अ लिमिटेड वे, बट विद दैट restrictions gone, we will be able to use the Chabahar port and explore our connectivity to Central Asia with its full capacity. That's the important point. Other important point is this: as Iranian oil will be entering the international market. Okay, so international oil market में जब ईरान का तेल आएगा, then the oil prices will be reduced, and as we have seen recently, your import budget will also be less. आपका import budget भी कम हो जाता है if the international oil prices are easing out. So this is what this whole idea is about. Okay, other than that there is nothing much. July wholesale inflation slows to 13.9. okay, so things are improving in right direction. Slowly we are heading towards improvement. Okay, result अच्छा आ रहा है. Result अच्छा in the sense it will be like it will give some breather to the RBI. Okay, so next MPC meeting जो होगी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी की, you will expect RBI to not to change interest rate. Okay, ऐसा होगा कि RBI जो है इंटरेस्ट रेट चेंज नहीं करेगा. not to change interest rate. And why I am saying this? Okay, I am saying this because at present फेस्टिव सीजन इज राउंड द कॉर्नर. दिवाली का सीजन आने वाला है और दिवाली टाइम पे लोग बहुत पैसे खर्च करते हैं. ओके, सो पीपल आर गोइंग टू इंक्रीज देयर एक्सपेंडिचर, दे आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड, दे आर गोइंग टू बाय न्यू थिंग्स, एंड वी डोंट वांट एट दैट टाइम टू पास ऑन द बर्डन टू देम. ओके, कि उनके ऊपर बर्डन जो है वो ज्यादा पड़ जाए. And we don't want these type of situations. That's why it is important that like it is a breather for RBI if the inflation is under control. अगर inflation under control रहता है तो वाकई RBI के लिए it's a really good thing. Okay, so other than that there is nothing much. कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay, so fuel demand continues to fall amid the monsoon. Okay, so maybe it will pick up after monsoon. Monsoon के बाद शायद थोड़ा fuel demand pick होगा because already जो है ट्रैक्टर का यूज़ हो या फिर आप बोलें कि जो एग्रीकल्चर के अंदर भी फ्यूल फॉसिल फ्यूल यूज़ होता है आपके जनरेटर वगैरह चलाने में. सो अभी वो यूज़ नहीं हो रहा होगा, बट आफ्टर द मॉनसून सीजन द थिंग्स विल गो टू द नॉर्मैलिटी एंड अगेन यू विल फाइंड अगेन द यूज़ ऑफ क्रूड ऑयल टू पिक अप. ओके, So this is how things are. This is how things are. Other than that, there is nothing much. कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay. So that's it for the day then. Thank you very much.